Milwaukee is a city in Wisconsin, located on Lake Michigan with a history dated back to the mid-19th century. The Great Lakes are a moderating influence, but Milwaukee still experiences real winters. You can expect to find a culturally diverse city if you visit with the influence of German immigrants still found today. That is evident from its reputation for brewing alone. To help you decide where to stay in Milwaukee, I have selected what I feel are the best areas to stay in Milwaukee. So, if you are planning your own trip to Milwaukee but haven't decided where to stay yet, I highly suggest checking out my article in the description below. I'll start with East Side, downtown Milwaukee. East Side has been the center of Milwaukee for over half a century. It generally sets the trends, and if you are interested in culture, East Side makes a great base. The boundary to the east side is the Milwaukee River to the west, and Lake Michigan to the east. It is often referred to as downtown. The best bars and shopping, music clubs and theaters are all in the east side. The University of Wisconsin-Michigan campus is here, as are many of the luxury homes built in its early days. The east side developed in the 19th century and was the heart of Milwaukee's commerce. Some of its architecture reflects the olden days in a variety of styles: classical revivalist, Renaissance revivalist, Queen Anne and Italianate among them. The area's parks include Lake Park and Riverside Park, both of which were designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, who was responsible for New York's Central Park. Head south from the east side and you will come to Bayview, which, as the name suggests, is close to the lake. At one time Bayview was a separate village. It was the first permanent European settlement in the area back in the 1830s. 20 years later, real development took place just to the north, the beginnings of today's East Side. However, the railroad came to Bayview at that time with links to Green Bay and Chicago. The steel industry followed to provide rails for the engines, and with work came growth. It was a village of 4,000 people when it became part of Milwaukee as a whole in 1887. This historic Third Ward district is home to art galleries and studios, the creative hub of Milwaukee. It is due east of the Harley-Davidson Museum with its eastern boundary Lake Michigan. Former warehouses have become artistic venues, and that includes places for live performances of all kinds. Look out for the Broadway Theatre Center as a good example. It is a very ornate building and interior. It is similar to European theaters of a similar age, and has a 350-seat theater and a smaller one with just 99 seats. Brewer's Hill has a colorful history. It is north of Milwaukee downtown, and after commercial prosperity, the neighborhood deteriorated before its revival. In the 19th century, its population was recent immigrants, including a significant number of Germans. Milwaukee's fame for brewing beer is down to German immigration to a large part. There were plenty of factories and retail outlets. Some residences were very grand, those belonging to business owners. Others were much smaller, the homes of ordinary workers. These homes were often side by side. The main industrial part was close to the Milwaukee River, where mills, tanneries and brewers made their headquarters. If you are looking for a neighborhood with a little of everything, take a look at Riverwest. It is a fairly small neighborhood in East Milwaukee, but without a frontage directly on Lake Michigan. You may want a nice bar or restaurant, live music, something a little offbeat. In that case, Riverwest may be for you. There is a real feeling of community in Riverwest. It has its own radio station, co-op and community bar. The Midwest of the USA may not receive as much attention from tourists as the East and West coasts, but it would be wrong to ignore it. Milwaukee is on the Great Lakes up towards the Canadian border. The lakes have an important economic role to play. Milwaukee's location is on the southwest shore of Lake Michigan. The most interesting parts of the city are in the east on those shores. The best time to visit Milwaukee is once winter recedes. Temperatures rise in April, and for the following months, they remain pleasant and never too hot. The result is that outdoor attractions find plenty of support. In addition, you should sample its most famous product, its beer, whilst visiting the bars and clubs by night, after seeing its landmarks by day. Milwaukee is an interesting city well worth a visit.